Hello there, welcome. So before we begin, I would like to chip in a few guidelines. So the first one is, please do not focus on the syntax that we are teaching over here, but rather pay attention to the concepts. And the second one is, please do not code along, but rather you can watch the video for as long as you want. Maybe you can watch it for 3 minutes, 5, 10. Just know your strength. And then when you watch it for that particular time period, pause it, try to replicate what I did. If you are not able to, repeat again. If you are not able to, repeat again till you get it right. Or when you pause and you try and it's not working, you can come back to the video, watch it for that set period of time. You watch it earlier and then you go back and then try again till you get it right. Okay, and then don't be afraid to explore anything that comes to mind. Create more bugs and then fix it. That's the best way to learn programming. Okay, so next up is we are going to learn how to write and then execute JavaScript code outside the browser. So this is the sample tutorial. So now you can head on to your VS Code application, and then from the first interface that comes, you can press on open folder, or if you can't see this, just go to the explorer section, then open folder over there. So let's head on into desktop, then create a new folder. I'm using Ctrl+Shift+N to create a new folder. I'm going to name the folder 30 days. Okay, so now you can press on select folder. To select the folder, press on yes, I trust the author. Okay, so now the folder is open, but there is no file in there. So what you are going to do is to press on the new file icon over there, new file, press on it, then type in any name you want, or you can choose to go with what I'm about to type in, which is main.js. And then you see here, this is where you see your folders, various folders, and then your file. And then when you press on a particular file, you see over here, you see the lines in here. Sorry, let me make it a little big so that you can see. Okay, so when you press on a particular file, you can see the lines over here, and this is the area in which we are going to type our code. Okay, so now I just want you to type in console.log. So it's basically telling the computer to say, okay, so computer say, and then use quotation marks, then type in hello world. Okay, and then press Ctrl+S to save it. Or if you like and you don't want to be saving it all the time, you can head on to file, go to auto save, then click on it. So you can see it has ticked over here. So anytime you type in something, it will automatically save it for you. So now head on to your command line prompt bar. I'm using PowerShell over here. So I'll link a video down below that will show you how you can customize your PowerShell. Okay, so what you have to do is to change directory in the home section. So all you have to do is to type in CD, then capital DES, then you can hit the tab button for it to auto-complete it for you. Desktop. So now I'm heading into desktop, or if you like, you can just hit Windows then E key, then head on to desktop, Then we right click, then you press open terminal over here to open the terminal in there for you. So now what I'm going to do is to change directory into my 30 days folder, and then in the 30 days folder is where you can locate the main.js file that I just created. So all you have to do is to type in node main.js, and this is telling the computer that I want Node to execute my main.js file. Okay, so if you are studying something over here, you can see .js. So JavaScript files end with the extension of .js. CSS files end with the extension of .css. A Python file will end with the extension of .py. So basically every programming language has its ending. That helps us to identify the kind of file you've written. Okay, so since this is JavaScript, that is why you can see the .js extension over here. So all you have to do is to type in node main.js and then hit enter. So now you can see our hello world has been written over there in the terminal. Okay, so the next thing that we learn about is comments. Comments are used in our code to explain why we are writing a particular code. So it can be in two forms. We can have multi-line comments or single line comments. And then multi-line comment is written as / asterisk then /. And then what you should notice, anything that comes between this wouldn't be executed by the computer. Single line comment is written as / and then write whatever you want over here. But when you go to the next line, right, just know you get code error unless you bring the / before you write anything over there. Okay, so the next thing that we look at is variables. So what are variables? Basically, variables act as containers, and then they tell the computer to store a particular value for a period of time, and then when we need it, we go for the value. Okay, so how do we tell the computer to store a particular value for us? When we are telling the computer, it's called variable declaration. So when you are declaring a variable, what you need is a keyword, then a variable name. Okay, so the keyword for variable is 3. We have let, we have var, we have const. These are the keywords, but we are sticking with let over here. Just know var, const also have their use cases, and then when we are doing variable scopes, we will explain the use case of each. Okay, so now when you declare your keyword, then you add the variable name. You should always put in mind that when you are naming a variable, the variable name should correspond with the kind of value that you want to store. So what value do you want to store? Let's say you want to store your first name. So you name your variable first name. So this is it. And then you should know in JavaScript, semicolon acts as full stop, and then it ends your code. So you should always bring semicolon whenever you are done writing the code. And that's it. Now we've declared a variable. We've told our computer to create a variable. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at is the rules when you are naming a particular variable. You can note over here that first and name is two different kind of words. And you can see that the first letter of the word first was written in lowercase, and then the first letter of the word name has been written in capital letter, that is uppercase. So Let's then visit the rules of variables. It tells us to always name variables according to the camel case notation, and that is the camel case notation that I just showed. First and then the name, and any word that follows should begin, the first letter should begin with capital letter. So if we were to type here of family, you see I'm beginning each subsequent word first letter with an uppercase. Okay, and then one thing you should notice, you cannot begin variable name with any symbol or character or number except the $sign and then the underscore. So here you see, if I use exclamation sign, I'm getting a code error. Any symbol I use over here will result in code error unless underscore. You see, nothing is happening, or the $sign, nothing happens over here because it is accepted. Okay, and then the next thing you should notice that you should not also leave spaces. This, you see, I'm getting code error. You should not also leave spaces in there. Okay, but then you can use numbers in between and nothing will happen. Okay, so the next thing that we will look at is variable initialization. So we've told our computer to create a variable for us, but how do we assign a value to the variable that we've created? So all what we have to do is to type first name, because now the computer is aware of first name, and then use the assignment operator. Then let's say, what is your first name? I'll go with Michael. Okay, then I end my code. So now we've given a value to the first name. This, we usually refer to it as the equal to sign in mathematics, but in computer programming it is called assignment operator. And what it does is to pick value from the right and give it to value at the left. So now first name holds the value Michael, and if we have to do console log of Michael, first name, you see Michael, we are going to get Michael because our computer recognizes first name. And here you can note that we do not bring the quotation mark because the computer is aware of first name. Whenever you type in first name, it knows it is Michael, this value that you've given to it. And then you should note that you can also decide to do variable declaration and initialization at the same time, which helps lessen your code. So here you can decide to just clear this from there, do straightforward just as I've done it. Let's first call Michael. See, we have to execute our code. Michael is actually printed, meaning it is a valid syntax in JavaScript. Okay, so the next thing we move on to is data types.